Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So, gonna give you the latest news on what Bruno Fernandes has come out and said. So, Bruno Fernandes disagrees with Jamie Carragher over the Paul Pogba partnership because Jamie Carragher has recently come out and said that Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba would not work together. Now, Bruno Fernandes insists that he can form an effective partnership with Paul Pogba in our midfield, and Bruno Fernandes has said that he and Paul Pogba have a good relationship on and off the pitch. And Bruno Fernandes also mentioned that he and Paul Pogba speak Italian to each other most of the time. And he said quite a few other things. So yeah, I credit Bruno Fernandes for saying this. Bruno Fernandes also said that he's praised Paul Pogba for his reaction to being benched. Bruno Fernandes says, he wasn't angry over the decision. Now, Bruno Fernandes has obviously endured around 9 months with Manchester United. Last season won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times, reflecting on his good performances, and won the Matt Busby Player of the Year award. The vast majority of Bruno Fernandes' goals have come from the penalty spot, haven't they? When we did sign Bruno Fernandes, he signed a 5-year contract with a football club with an option of a further year. I probably think that Bruno Fernandes is going to start today's game against Arsenal. So that's the latest news on him. Now, do you think that Ollie outs will stop today if we beat Arsenal? Now, I'm confident Manchester United will beat Arsenal today. It's obviously going to be a tough game. Like I said to you, Arsenal have not beaten us at Old Trafford in the Premier League since 2006, so that's around 14 years ago. The game at Old Trafford last season was 1-1. And today's game is Ollie's 100th game as Manchester United manager, so he will be hoping to win it. And he'll obviously want to get revenge on Mikel Arteta, because obviously Mikel Arteta has beaten Ole Gunnar Solskjaer once, because last season we lost the game at the Emirates by 2-0. Ole has won 56 games as Manchester United manager in all competitions since he got appointed in. And we're looking for our first win at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. We have been in a good vein of form recently though. We are unbeaten in our last 4 games in all competitions. We've enjoyed a fantastic start to our Champions League campaign because we've had back-to-back wins. We beat PSG and we beat RB Leipzig, didn't we? So we've registered 6 points from 2 games, and I'm very convinced that we can get qualification for... I'm very convinced that we can get to the knockout stages of the competition. We've played 5 games in the league so far this season. We have won 2, lost 2 and drawn 1. Haven't we? Arsenal, they've played 6 games so far in the Premier League this season. They've won 3 and they've lost 3. Arsenal recently had a good win against Dundalk. They've beaten them by 3-0. Well, like I've said, Arsenal do look a better team under Mikel Arteta than what they did under Unai Emery. Mikel Arteta has been at Arsenal now around 10 months. When Arsenal appointed him in, I think he signed a 3-year contract, didn't he? He won his first trophy with Arsenal last season because Arsenal did win the FA Cup, and Arsenal are the most successful team in FA Cup history. And Arsenal did make some good signings in the summer transfer window. They obviously signed Thomas Partey, they signed Gabriel Magalhaes, and they also brought Willian in. I think they'll be playing today for Arsenal. In January, Mikel Arteta brought Pablo Mari in, and he also brought Cedric Soares in, didn't he? And like I said, Tino, Man United Arsenal was a very, very good fixture when we had Sir Alex Ferguson and when they had Arsene Wenger. You know, Ferguson endured 27 years with us, Wenger endured 22 years with Arsenal, so they are the two longest serving managers in English football. But it's still always a very, very good game, Manchester United and Arsenal. Arsenal have got a few good young players in their team, like I've mentioned on my recent videos, who could be involved today. You know, they've got that Joe Willock, they've got that Reece Nelson, they've got Eddie Nketiah, they've got that Saka, who I think could be involved for them today. I still think Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is one of Arsenal's best players. From an Arsenal perspective, they'll be hoping that he can end his goal drought. He hasn't been in good form recently, though. Obviously, Arsenal have got Lacazette, who I like a lot. Arsenal have got a few players out with injury. I don't think Callum Chambers will be involved today for them. Rob Holding's out, like I've mentioned. I think David Luiz is also out as well, I heard. Willian's just come back from an injury, hasn't he? I think they've also got Gabriel Martinelli out. Yeah, so I think they're the injuries that Arsenal have got. You saw my recent video that I did today. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has named 4 formations that he can use today for the Arsenal clash. And that is the 4-3-3, a diamond, a 3-4-3, and the 3-5-2. Because Solskjaer says, we've got a squad now that can execute any tactical plan. And obviously he mentions that Rashford and Pogba are back. So we've got more options tactically. And he obviously mentioned that we've brought the likes of Telles, Cavani and Donny van de Beek into the team. And I think a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see the diamond today. We went with the diamond against RB Leipzig, didn't we? Solskjaer, I think, will be making changes from the RB Leipzig game, won't he? I heard from the Manchester Evening News yesterday that Donny van de Beek's likely to start on the bench, and so too is Paul Pogba. He's likely to start on the bench. If we do play Paul Pogba, I think we'll probably play him in more of an advanced role, because that's where he seems to be more effective, and I think Solskjaer's accepted this. I'm expecting Marcus Rashford to start the game today. He may not start, but I think he will. Paul Merson recently said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should bench Marcus Rashford for this game. Marcus Rashford recently scored a hat-trick against RB Leipzig, didn't he? And he became the second Manchester United player to score a hat-trick as a substitute. And he also scored a late winner in Paris. So Rashford's really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. He's been part of the club for several years. And he was 23 years of age yesterday, wasn't he? I think Edinson Cavani could be starting this game. If Cavani does start this game, it will be his full Premier League debut for the football club. Now, Cavani obviously came on against Leipzig, did well. He came on against Chelsea in our last league game. and almost scored with his first touch when he came on against Chelsea, Edinson Cavani. I think probably McTominay will start this game. Scott McTominay's done very, very well recently though, so I've got to give him a lot of credit. I've obviously criticised McTominay a lot before, haven't I? I think he'll play ahead of Matic, to be honest with you. Fred, he's undroppable at the moment. He's been in good form recently. I think Fred started our last 4 games, hasn't he? Donny van de Beek, like I said, I think he should start the game. I'd like him to start the game because I want him to make his full Premier League debut for the football club. Donny van de Beek actually started against RB Leipzig, didn't he? And he did very, very well. You know, he was playing in that number 10 role, and Solskjaer was talking about Donny van de Beek prior to the RB Leipzig game, sorry. And he said that he's going to be an important player this year and he's going to play a big part. And he responded to the criticism over the use of Donny van de Beek. We're expecting to see more from Donny van de Beek, aren't we? You know, we paid £40 million for him from Ajax and he signed a 5-year contract with the football club with an option of a further year. Now, I think it'd be the wrong decision if Manchester United started Juan Mata today. I heard that Juan Mata could actually start the game today. Juan Mata's not a bad player. I think he's a good player. He's just like ageing up and he's lost that yard of pace. I think Juan Mata started our last 2 league games and he's done well. And I thought he also did well in our Carabao Cup games against Luton and Brighton. He got given man of the match for both of them games. We can't start Daniel James today. I don't see him starting anyway. Mason Greenwood, I presume he's going to be involved today. Mason Greenwood played against RB Leipzig. Obviously, he was the one that scored the first goal. Prior to the Chelsea game, Solskjaer defended Mason Greenwood, don't forget, and he blasted our ex-players for criticising him, and he says that the English media are starting to go after him. We had a few issues with Mason Greenwood at the start of the season because he was getting withdrawn from the England squad quite a few times. The start of the season, we give Mason Greenwood that number 11 shirt, didn't we? Now, I'm expecting Luke Shaw to be starting, definitely. Harry Maguire, he'll keep his place in the team. I've got to give Harry Maguire credit because I think he's recently rejuvenated himself. Harry Maguire did have early season troubles though, because he obviously had a few knocks and he got sent off in England's 1-0 defeat to Denmark, and he had that incident in Greece the other month. Harry Maguire is our captain and is the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment because we got him in a deal worth £80 million, Harry Maguire. Victor Lindelof, I think he'll probably start today. Do you think he should start today? To be fair to Lindelof, he has rejuvenated himself recently. I think there's some Man United fans that would give Tuanzebe a start. Tuanzebe really impressed me against PSG. That was Tuanzebe's first start for Manchester United in like 10 months. And Solskjaer was talking about Tuanzebe the other week, and he's challenged him to add consistency to ensure that he has a long career with Man United. But obviously Solskjaer's hopeful that he will remain injury-free because he's sustained quite a few injuries. But he's another option at centre-half, isn't he, Tuanzebe? Wan-Bissaka, who played today, I've been very, very impressed with Wan-Bissaka in his last 4 games or so. We've seen good attacking intent from him and his defensive contributions being very, very good. And he scored against Newcastle and that was his first goal for Manchester United in his 50th appearance. It was against Newcastle, wasn't it? And I think it was his first senior goal, Wan-Bissaka's. And De Gea will remain in goal. David De Gea has really impressed me recently, and it's good that he has rejuvenated himself This season is David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United. Now, as you all know, there's 5 players unavailable, and that's Telles, Jones, Bay, Martial, and Jesse Lingard, So I'm really looking forward to this game. After Arsenal, it is Istanbul Basaksehir. That's our other opponent in the Champions League group stage. And then after that, it's Everton. Everton is going to be a tough game. Isn't it? Now, like I've said to you, I'm hopeful that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will succeed as Manchester United manager. Obviously, Ole has been at the football club now for almost 2 years. He's been with us around 22 months. He's been permanent Manchester United manager for around 19 months. Now, obviously, this is his second season at the club. A few weeks ago, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was under serious pressure at the football club, and it was after that 6-1 embarrassment to Tottenham. That's when he was under serious pressure. But obviously, reflects on the wins against Newcastle and PSG and that. Obviously, a lot of pressure eased off him. And obviously, we recently beat Leipzig 5-0, so pressure eased off him there. But if we was to lose today to Arsenal, then maybe the pressure could be back on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It could. I think if Man United can get a top 4 finish this season and we can win a trophy, I think that would represent a good season for Man United, and it would give us something to build on. We haven't won out yet in terms of silverware under Ole, and we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. And Man United's a club about, challenging and winning trophies, But don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino has been the favourite to replace Ole at the football club. It also mentions that we've been looking at Massimiliano Allegri as an alternative to him. But like I've said anyway, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. Ole is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. Now, reflect on how long Ole's been at the club. He's obviously gained managerial experience. Manchester United is the 3rd club in his managerial career. He has got a contract with the football club until 2022. I think Solskjaer's showed a lot of tactical flexibility in a lot of the big games, because obviously Ole's beaten Julian Nagelsmann, he's beaten Thomas Tuchel. Last season, he beaten Pep Guardiola 3 times, he beaten Frank Lampard 3 times, and he's also overcome Jose Mourinho once. So that's a positive about Solskjaer. There's a few other positives as well. We've had some good games under him. We've had some big wins. We had the 5-0 win against Leipzig. That was the first time we'd scored 5 goals in ages, though. We had the 5-0 win against last season. We had the 5-0 win against Bruges last season. We had the 4-0 win against Chelsea on the opening day of last season in the Premier League. We had the 4-1 win against Newcastle. We had the 6-0 win against Tranmere in the Cup last season. So we've had a few big wins, the Cardiff one, 5-1. That was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first game in charge as Manchester United manager. I think he's also made some good signings since he got appointed in. In the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, bought Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window of this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Traore. Amad Traore will be joining the football club in January. He's also brought a few academy players in as Ole, and I like the way that Ole has promoted the youth. That's another positive. You know what I mean? But Ole has spent over 200 million since he became Man United manager. We've also seen a lot of players leave the football club since he got recommended in. And we've also had some very, very good periods under him. Now, it's obviously no good that Ole is making plans for next year, because obviously we're looking to make a couple of more signings next year. I think next year we're going to go in for Dayot Upamecano from Leipzig. I heard recently that we could be going in for Adama Traore from Wolves. Calahanglu, whatever you pronounce his name, from AC Milan. We'll want to get him on a free transfer next year. We're obviously going to look to offload more players next year, because obviously there's still deadwood in the squad, isn't there? You know, I think next year we'll be looking to get rid of Jesse Lingard, Marcus Rojo, Phil Jones and Sergio Romero. Romero's obviously said anyway he wants his contract terminated. I think we could loan Daniel James out next year. Could loan Brandon Williams out. Could Mata and Matic leave the football club next year? You know, we will have to see. Ole did well last season because he got us qualification for the Champions League. He also got us third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. And last season was Ole's first full season at the football club, wasn't it? And you wouldn't have thought he'd have done all that last season, because at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, didn't we? But I think if Ole's still Man United manager in January, I think he needs more backing, because in the summer transfer window definitely wasn't backed enough by the board, because we missed out on all of his priority targets and we missed out on a lot of targets in general, didn't we? I don't think any of our managers have been backed enough since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, and we've been demanding Woodward and the Glazers out of the club for several years, haven't we? Reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been, and we've also overpaid for players, haven't we? But Woodward's been at the club since 2012, so he's been with us around 8 years or so, and the Glazers have been at the club since 2005, so they've been with us around 15 years or so. But I think at some point we can mount a title challenge up. I still think we're at least a couple of years off from winning the title, I will be honest. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. You know, last time we won it was in Ferguson's last season. You know what I mean? But in the last 7 years or so, we have been playing catch-up. You know, we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years or so. We've had different managers with different philosophies and all of that. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Sir Alex Ferguson era, as you all know. So, yeah. We'll be on for match reaction later after the game, and we'll see how it goes. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.